justice and peace and equality.
All right, Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, and we're back. Adrian Consonery Jr.
Yes, sir.
The pizza man. He's delivering, man. The next generation leader of today. We were talking about your past, growing up, Grambling University, starting your own business, writing 2 books, turning grief. Well, how did you say that?
Every man to experience growth must go through grief.
Every man who experienced growth must go through grief. Wow. You don't understand how powerful that is, because we're living in a season where a lot of our young people are facing what we call privileged times, right? They're seeing a lot. They're seeing things that, like, wow, how did they make it through this, However, we also have you running for Secretary of State. Tell us what made you go. Did you start from, like, city council, state representative? Like, what made you say, I don't want to be in any of that. I want to go straight to the top. I want to go sit by the governor, and it is my right to do so. You know what? Come on, man. What 25-year-old wakes up and say, I want to be the Secretary of State of Georgia, man? You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Well, I will say it didn't start off with Secretary of State.
Okay.
And it's so ironic that you're asking this now, because everything. So the thought process that happened, I knew I wanted to run for something.
Okay.
I knew for a fact I wanted to run for something.
Okay.
And what happened was I did not like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Okay.
I unfortunately lived in her district. So, yes, we were gerrymandered into her district.
Okay.
And I sat there and I'm like, oh my gosh, no.
Oh,
and so there was a point in time with the big beautiful bill that came out. And And so I asked her, I genuinely, I reached out via email.
Okay.
I called the office the night they were doing the vote. I tried my best to use the switchboard, trying to call. And I pleaded with her, do not sign this bill. Because this bill, although I'm here in Georgia,
right,
this bill affects Louisiana.
Okay.
I'm in Grambling State University is a rural college.
Okay.
There is a rural hospital that is there.
Right.
I survived off of food stamps. There is so much that this big beautiful bill will cut that if it was not there when I was a student, I would be dead right now.
Wow.
If you sign this bill, you are signing a death warrant for a lot of people that is out there. And also with healthcare premiums going up in a rural community, that destroys a lot of access to healthcare. Of course, with the defunding of rural hospitals, now they have to travel even further to get to any place that will be able to give them the sufficient needs that they have.
Wow.
So if you put your name on this bill, you are saying you don't care about the students that are within your district that may go outside to get an education.
Wow.
And if you do that, you are showcasing you're never about the people.
Okay.
You were always about your own agenda.
Absolutely.
So I say all that to say the original plan was to run against her. But the beautiful thing is, I did not want to run against her and it be for pride.
Yes.
Because the only thing about that would be getting her out of the position. That was the only thing I wanted. I just wanted her out of the position. I just wanted her gone. But why would I run a race when there's somebody that's running a race that I believe in?
Wow. Yeah.
Sean Harris.
Okay.
Who is a former Brigadier General Sean Harris. Let me put some respect on his name.
Okay.
He is running for District 14, U.S. Congressional District 14.
Wow.
He had already ran against her before. Unfortunately, he lost last time.
Okay.
But he's running again.
Okay.
And it's a well-oiled machine of a campaign that he's running.
Okay.
And so he is pushing. I'm like, man, I want to support him.
Okay.
I believe in him. So if I believe in a candidate, why would I try to divide that vote?
Correct.
Why would I go and run against somebody who I know can win, especially if I support them?
Correct.
But I know I got to be involved. So let me look around. Okay, well, maybe if I run a campaign that could be adjacent to his, I could push that in the same manner.
Right.
So again, at the time, still didn't know what that position was going to be.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, let me figure out what else I could do. So at the time, I also think, okay, well, maybe I could do city council. I live in unincorporated Cobb.
I totally understand.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, well, I can't even do that. All right, so that immediately rules out city council, that rules out school board, that rules out mayor, and then at the same time, person that was running for mayor of Marietta, Sam Foster.
Okay.
I believe in him.
Okay.
So it's like, why would I run against somebody I believe in?
Okay.
Okay, so maybe whatever I do choose to run for can also push him.
Okay.
Because I want him to win. So I now have these two people that I'm like, all right, well, I really want them to win. I really want them to get into this office, but I still feel this power and urge to run for something. I still feel that God's calling me to do something.
Yeah.
I've had all this life experience that I've gotten in a very short amount of time. Why am I still feeling this urge to run for something? So it's like, okay, well, I could try to run for state senate. The guy that has that state senate seat has been in there since 2005.
Right.
I'll be honest with you, the hold that he has on that district, probably I'm not going to be able to flip on its own.
Okay.
I've got friends all over the state. I've got connections all over the country.
Okay.
Why don't I try for a statewide position? Okay, well, what statewide position would I even be eligible for? What would even be something that I could genuinely do?
Right.
And that's when it hit me. Those closest to the problem are closest to the solution. The whole reason why I'm politically engaged anyway is because of my vote.
Yes, absolutely.
The whole reason why. So where does that go to? Where does that come from? Well, there's a documentary that's out done by Greg Pallas called Vigilantes Inc.
Okay.
Highly recommend going and watching it.
We're definitely going to take a look at it.
That let me know all of the intricacies of what could take place from the Secretary of State office.
Okay.
It let me know what happened to my vote.
Oh, definitely.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, what position? It's over elections. I've got two parents that's entrepreneurs. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got all of this experience here. I know the importance of productivity for an entrepreneurial home.
Right.
Because if you don't make ends meet, there is no bailout.
Right.
You are taking a risk as is, but you're doing this so that way you can have control over your schedule for your family.
Okay.
I understand that need, and I want to help meet that need.
Most definitely.
Okay, so now what else? Okay, well, there's the corporate filings. Every single business needs that. There's the state certification.
Okay.
There's I've got a lot of friends that have their own professions that they're in when it comes that they have to go to the Secretary of State office in order to get their state certification.
Most definitely.
They're struggling because they get their certifications late.
Right.
And so now when they go and they're getting out of school, they're ready to get back into the workforce, but this economy isn't working with them, and now they're waiting on this as well. That needs to be revamped. That needs to be invested in. Something needs to happen that pushes that forward so that way they can get back to being productive. So we can start to have a state government that is pushing for productivity.
Wow.
So, all of this is coming through. Maybe I need to run for Secretary of State.
Come on, man. Come on now.
It's a wild thought, and I did seek counsel. I did seek counsel in order to see if this is something that I should do.
Right.
And it was confirmed to me.
Okay.
You need to probably do this.
Oh, you definitely.
Because there is a shift that is happening already. If you announce when you do, if you go and you make the work happen when you need to make it happen, you can go and make something take place.
Wow.
Because there is too much that's ingrained into this old system of how we've always had things, especially here in Georgia.
Definitely.
We need to change it all. And but not change it in a sense of so it's not unrecognizable, but change it so that way people start to recognize themselves as Georgians. And they start to recognize that Georgia is for them. Rather than for the agendas of billionaires and madmen.
Man, and saying that now, a lot of people look at Georgia as Atlanta. When they look at Atlanta, we're talking about Georgia is probably 85% rural.
Right.
If we look at it, it's not an easy fight outside of Metro Atlanta. The circle of Savannah, those Columbus, Georgia, these are heavy Democratic communities. But in those rural areas, what's your plan to not only just fight for the Atlanta, the Atlanta Metro, but you got to reach farmers. You got to reach You got to reach the workers who work 12 hours a day on at the pulp mill. You know, what's your plan for that?
So I'll be honest with you. When it comes to farmers, I do have to go back to Sean Harris.
Wow, okay.
Because Sean Harris is a farmer.
Wow.
He has his own cattle ranch. So there's also a secret mission in getting him elected too.
Okay.
Because having him as from the perspective of what a farmer needs, what a farmer does, and how it's being negated and neglected.
Correct.
The state government is thinking about corporation as the only means of getting money into the state, but we forget the soil of what Georgia was founded on. Agriculture.
Man.
We forget that. We forget that every single day.
Okay.
And it's a very hard situation that we encounter when it comes to the neglect that comes to Georgians.
Right.
So when I look at a farmer, and first of all, I'm going to just say this. I'm a peach cobbler fanatic. All right, chocolate is my favorite dessert of all time, but peach cobbler is the second thing.
Man,
you can't get the best peach cobbler comes from rural Georgia. It don't come from Atlanta.
It don't come from Atlanta.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that in disrespectful manner to Atlanta. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of great peach trees,
and a lot of chicken wing shops.
A lot of chicken wing shops, you know what I mean? But the best peach cobbler is gonna come from rural Georgia.
Correct.
Why? Because that's where the peach is from.
Okay.
That's where the peach is sourced. That's where it's at. So if you want to invest in the best of the best, you need to invest in the rural communities.
Correct.
You need to invest in farmers. Correct. There needs to be better access to grants so that way they can get the farm tools that they need so that way their farms can actually be successful.
Correct.
We need to work on that because I can tell you who's not going to work on that.
Who's that?
Trump. Because he is going to continue to push that all of our farmers don't need that. They're going to continue with the tariffs, and they're going to continue pushing all these different things. And by now, we're probably going to have embargoes on the things that our farmers can start to push out in order to gain more capital.
Okay.
And it's this horrible, horrible thing that's taking place from the federal government. So the state government has to step in and take care of their own.
Wow. Man, where you get all this wisdom from, man? What's going on?
So I will say this: I give it all credit to my Lord and Savior.
Okay.
Because I know for a fact that I don't talk like everybody my age, but that does not set me apart from them.
Absolutely.
I feel the same fire that they feel, but I know that the way that I speak does not come from me; it comes from God.
Now, let me ask you this: you guys are the next generation leaders. You guys are mobilizing different. In 2020, we had. When we were trying to turn Georgia blue, we were trying to turn different demographics blue. Mm-hmm. It was like turning blue, but we needed leaders that looked like us. We said we need leaders that look like us. Your plan, your generation plan is a little bit different. Mm-hmm. It's not just about what color you are, what gender you are, it's about a goal and a purpose for common people, groups of people. Tell us what made you guys go in that direction versus the old way of we shall overcome. Right. And not to negate we shall overcome because it definitely takes steps, but what make you say we want to work with everyone that agrees in the purpose, together? What made you guys go in that direction now?
Well, I'll be honest with you, and speech from Arrested Development says it best.
Okay.
I am everyday people. I am not some, we're not going to get another Martin Luther King.
Okay.
We're not going to get another person to move in the same manner that they did because that worked absolutely wonderful for that time.
Okay.
But the thing that everybody forgets, Martin Luther King was the most hated man in America when he was alive.
Wow.
He was the most hated. And so when he unfortunately was assassinated,
right,
people started to see, oh no, he was the only person pushing nonviolence. What will hold back their anger now? What will mitigate them? What will fetter them back to this thought process of being nonviolent? Because the only person that was speaking on it, who we hated, we just killed. So somebody's going to sit here and think, oh, well, now they're just going to riot. Well, we need to make him a martyr. We need to make him something bigger. We need to make him something brighter. He was the peace-loving man who studied Mahatma Gandhi. He did all of these things. He believed in nonviolence, and you should too. As if it was a scapegoat out of what the reality of the situation was.
Correct.
To protect themselves.
Correct.
Martin Luther King is still hated by a lot of people. because they do not believe in everything of what he said. They only believe in the I have a dream. So I say that to say that I love the movement of what the civil rights movement was able to do.
Okay.
But the civil rights movement existed to make my run possible.
Wow.
And if people don't realize that what I am doing is not me stepping out against the grain of what is taking place, but rather standing on the shoulders of giants that fought for me to be here, then we're missing out on the whole picture.
On the whole picture.
So when we look at the way to reach the everyday person, you have to come to them as an everyday person.
Wow.
I just have a certain different life experience. Because God said, all right, I'm finna throw you through the washer real quick. We gonna go through again, and we gonna see what come out.
Okay.
But I believe that the way that we get mobilization to happen, especially with my generation, is coming to them as a person. We see like entertainers all day, every day, because the algorithms don't allow us to not see them.
Definitely,
like,
definitely gonna see that.
We see so many politicians who want to be celebrities. Like we see so many politicians that want to hold themselves to the standard of stardom rather than the standard of service. And that is something that has to change. Because when we don't have these instances take place where people come in and they genuinely want to serve, but because they don't want to be in front of the camera doing the service work that they're doing, now they're no longer highlighted with the work that can be done. They're not supported. They're not invested in. I'll be honest. I'll be here. I'm the first one to say it. If you believe in investing in defending democracy, then you need to invest in a candidate like me.
Hey, I'm with you. You got to believe in yourself.
So that, because the Secretary of State office is the last line of defense of democracy for the state of Georgia.
Definitely is. It's definitely that. And in the Secretary of State, it was a lot of speculations around the election cycle. I believe when Stacey Abrams was running against current Governor Brian Kemp, a lot. It was. People believe it was voter fraud. People believe, and I've seen some elections where certain things have happened. I won't be specific about it because I want to definitely make sure I stay nonpartisan. Want to make sure that we're not carrying out any agenda. They love to say, "Hey, man, he's a part of this big agenda or whatever." But we just want service for the people, and when it comes to this, we just want transparency for the people. When I say that, and we saw where in Georgia, where votes was leaning one way, and then we wake up in the next morning and it's like, what happened? You know, what happened? I mean, tell us how we can improve that system. Tell us how we can kind of walk in a direction where Georgians are getting a fair vote. Because, I mean, this thing is not making sense the way we're looking at it right now.
So what I vow to do, full-fledged, in my first 100 days is a full, thorough investigation and audit of what we can do into what has happened with elections in the past. Because if I'm a firm believer in transparency anyway. I think that too much speculation, secrecy, and like when it comes to this mystery of politics, like why is there a mystery there? Politics is supposed to be for the people, so therefore the people should know.
Most definitely.
So why are we pushing this agenda of, oh, well, you shouldn't see, the veil is there, continue to live in harmony and peace while there's so much mess behind this curtain. We need to lift that veil. If something is going on where people are, where the truth is not being said, where wrongdoing is happening, we have laws in place to deal with that, and we have elections to replace them.
Absolutely.
So we need to figure that out. We need to move that forward. We need to push that agenda. I do believe that solutions do exist when it comes to our elections. I'm a firm believer that the reason why we have such strong blue states like California like the current mayoral elect, how he was able to get through with grassroots things is their election processes were allowed to go through fairly. It didn't matter who was the candidate. So I believe that there might need to be some imitation that happens when it comes to some of our elections.
Okay.
We did have a very, state of the art election process that took place for the state of Georgia, and it has been that for some time.
Right.
However, the state of the art also make you a target. Do we genuinely trust what has gone on?
Okay.
And I will say this: I trusted our election processes. I genuinely did, and I wanted to feel as if there was some instances where we might have had some things that possibly happened, but I was thinking more so from the absentee perspective.
Okay. I can see that.
So when it comes to the state and how the state, when you're home and you go to that precinct and you go and you cast your ballot, what's going on the inside? Can we get that going? Or do we need to just go to our backup system and then also move forward with making sure that with the backup system, everything that happens after is still state of the art? So there's a lot of ways that we can really tackle this.
Okay.
And I look forward to within my first 100 days of pushing that agenda.
Now, what is your a lot of underserved communities feel like their voice is not heard because of the voter suppression, voter oppression, and making just simply sure people's names are registered voters. I think Georgia lost over 4,000, 5,000?
480,000 registered voters that were purged from the registration roll.
Wow, man. Tell us what that looks like for Georgians because rural Georgia is different because a lot of the people that we think can vote, they fight prison time, or they are coming off of probation or long sentences and stuff, and so it's kind of hard to mobilize that area. But tell me how, Well,
and I do want to say this. A lot of times the narrative that's pushed when it comes to our returning citizens is false. People have the ability to vote.
Okay.
And that is, you are protected by law to be able to go and vote.
Okay.
Now, of course, there are some instances where, you may not be able to do this for a certain amount of time, especially after serving time.
Absolutely.
But there's ways to go and reinstate it.
Okay.
And those ways need to be amplified.
Okay.
They need to be brought to the community directly. This is why grassroots is so important, because you can't blast something out and put it all on social media and expect for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you put the truth out there, it doesn't get seen.
Nah.
It doesn't get seen.
And if it does get seen, it get fake news, clickbait.
Yeah. Or the simplest thing of all, it gets scrolled past.
Correct.
Like you'll see something with a lot of facts, a lot of words, and there goes a funny Drewski video. And then, no shots at Drewski.
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
Love what you do. But there's a problem with that. So how do you get the message out? We've become too reliant on just using our phones to get to people. Okay. We've become too reliant on social media as the one mode and medium that information is given.
Most definitely.
This way, right here, is the way that a lot of conversations need to happen, face to face. So how can we make it to where I'm face to face to the people, giving them the information that they need to get their right to vote back?
Most definitely.
That's what needs to happen. And there's a lot of nonpartisan organizations that focus on this exact same thing.
Absolutely.
So we need to push that. The state government needs to partner with these nonpartisan organizations that are all about voter engagement, because when you get voters engaged, well, congratulations with the Secretary of State office, your job is better.
Hey.
The more people that are engaged to vote, then you get the credit for that.
Absolutely.
I don't know why anybody would not want credit for a good thing.
Come on now.
So that's what we have to push. We need to push getting people out there by getting face to face with them. No more of the hiding behind the camera or hiding behind the microphone or putting it on social media or something like that. Get in front of them. So I do believe that is something that I would love to also tackle within my term as Secretary of State.
And what about the I think we said 480,000 people.
Yes.
We talked about.
And I really want to get into that because that is so. This makes my blood boil. So SB 202. Okay. Senate Bill 202. When that came out, that was the bill that made it to where it was a felony to pass out water bottles in line. But it had a lot of caveats that were in it. Some were kind of good.
Right.
Some were horrendous.
Okay.
They did rule that within SB 202, the felony was unconstitutional for passing out water bottles.
Right. Definitely unconstitutional.
Yeah, because it's like, how you gonna put a felony on water? Like, what are we doing?
Shout out to the water boys.
Shout out to the water boys.
Yeah.
I love y'all. I love young entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
But there was another caveat that was in there.
Okay.
And it was talking about the drop boxes for ballots. The ballot drop boxes. They said that you can only have a drop box in an area of 100,000 registered voters.
Wow.
But every odd year, we're purging hundreds of thousands of voters.
Correct.
In, well, let's just say it, predominantly people of color areas.
Yeah, definitely.
In lower income areas, your rural counties, all of these different spots where there's no longer registered voters.
Yeah.
So you purge them from the voter roll, hundreds of thousands of people. Oh, well, we can just take this. No one's going to miss it.
Yeah.
And then let's put this one inside of a building that closes after 5. The drop box is there to make it accessible for people to go and cast their ballot.
Correct.
Because unfortunately, as a country, we don't celebrate voting.
No, we don't.
We don't celebrate the day, the privilege, the ability to have a democratic process of choosing our leaders. Instead, we put it on a Tuesday in the middle of a commerce week. And make it to where you if you're not in line by 7, you can't vote.
Yeah.
We don't have it as a holiday. We don't have it as something that we can celebrate. We don't have joy with our voting. We're scared at the polls.
Wow.
We're terrified to even go and vote. So why is that? Why do we not give the joy and the love nature that should be within participating in our democratic process of choosing leaders? If you run a great campaign, you should be happy on election day.
Absolutely.
Because you gave it your absolute best.
Yes.
And if your party is doing what they should be doing for the people, you should feel very confident in having a grill set up at the election line.
Definitely.
So why are we making it felonies? Why are we making it so hard for people to access these polls and access their ballots and let their voice be heard?
Man. Hold that thought, man. We're going to come back. We got to go to another commercial break. Adrian Consonery Jr., entrepreneur, the pizza man, he's going to deliver, you guys. I'm telling you, he is going to deliver. If you hear this young leader right here, son, he is a true lion fighting for the people and fighting for, rights of the people. You guys stay tuned. We got to go to a commercial break. Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. Stay tuned.
Justice and peace.